Hey there, YouTube. This is Fragments of Memory, aka the Armchair Philosopher. I recently saw a video by Testizel, or the Ghetto Cyrano, or Angelo, and one of the things he talked about was there've been a slew of men complaining that they're losers because they don't get any loving. Now, this is due to the fact that maybe there is a dry spell in the dating and or mating life, and of course, because of this, a man deems himself a loser. I wanted to sort of just speak to that for a moment. I think men are judged by their conquests. Not all of those conquests are business or academic or even athletic. Sometimes they are in the realm of dating and sexuality. A man is judged as to how many sexual experiences he's had, how many notches on the belt or notches on the bedpost that he's had. And unfortunately, because our society, our pornographic culture, as it were, advocates such behavior, such promiscuous behavior, we as men feel less than adequate because we're not having certain sexual experiences. Also, taking forth an argument that Dave Chappelle talked about. Well, no, we won't go to that because I've mentioned that in another video. But I think we've discussed how a man is judged by his conquests, his successes, his triumphs. And just as one gets a new job or gets a promotion, how many women you've had sex with determines how much virility, how much vitality you have as a man, how much man you are. And of course, when you're a guy that doesn't have that or doesn't have the same experiences, you may even feel like a loser. I've experienced this in my own life because in high school, when a lot of guys were either dating and or doing other things, I was in my own world. I was into my high school's theater department. I was singing in show choir. I did creative writing club, and I hung with my buddies. And most of us were into things like role playing games and video games and film. So I did, and I was a lot nervous around women, a lot more nervous around women than I am today. So I understand what it means to be the lonely guy and everyone's paired off. And it seems that every time you turn around, your homeboy is always getting some type of love, and it seems women pass you over. So I know the feeling. And it's unfortunate in our culture because it seems women are reduced to this: a trophy. A trophy. That's right. You are a trophy, ladies. And I don't think anybody would want to be reduced to just a trophy. Another thing, and this sort of comes into what I'm saying, relates to what I'm saying. We are bothered by the number of women, or excuse me, by the number of men that a woman may have been with before us. Because in a sense, it could be seen as a challenge to our record. And I don't speak for all men, and I don't really speak for myself per se, but I can sort of see how some men would be jealous because how is she getting all these sexual experiences when I don't have that many? And then there might be a little jealousy there. Here's how I look at it. There's always someone that will want a woman. There's always someone that's going to pursue and chase a woman, i.e., we as men are going to pursue and chase women. Unfortunately, many men are not equipped with the tools to deal with a woman. As far as wooing her, as far as romancing her, though I hate using the word romancing, but wooing her and charming her. Some men have that gift of gab where they can do that, or the so-called swagger, or the so-called game, where some guys don't. Some guys are awkward. And I know that I've been awkward around women, or I was awkward around women for a very long time, just like coming up in high school and in general, because I did things that I enjoyed, and usually they weren't the so-called athletic things where you had to be up in somebody's face. I did theater, and I kept to myself a lot. So I can sort of see why some people would feel like a loser that they're not getting any loving. We even have shows about it. I mean, we have TV, we have movies like the 40-Year-Old Virgin. and he's laughed at and seen as a joke. The man who's awkward because the girl he likes kissed him and he went into this almost orgasmic fit, like in the movie Blank Man, we find that scene funny. Somehow male sexual inexperience is always seen as funny. And also, too, women seem not to want a man that is sexually inexperienced. Women seem to want a man that has the notches on his belt or his bedpost or the trophies of women that he slept with. Because his sexuality, it means that he is what his sexual prowess is on par, or up to par rather. And I think that I think we as men, generally speaking, get intimidated by such things because we think that's the only important thing. Not our character, not our morals, but how my stroke is. And if I haven't been stroking a lot, well, she's going to find out and reject me. So, and laugh about my lack of sexual prowess. So everyone begins to feel like a loser. Now, I'm going to keep it real with you. I'm a man that due to my religious convictions, that doesn't fly. That's fornication, that's adultery. Those things do not fly in my faith. So, with that being said, I still understand the feeling of a man who feels he's a loser because of that. Well, I say don't feel like a loser. In fact, I would say rejoice if a woman doesn't respond to you the way you think she should, because she may come with her own set of troubles and baggage and woes that you may not be able to handle or deal with. She might come with diseases. You might end up impregnating her and having to deal with baby mama drama. So what I would say is, Angelo had great advice. Pray. Pray about these things. Ask God to guide you to finding a wife. Ask God to make you the type of man that can have a wife, that can truly love his wife, and that can be with her. Because more often than not, we're caught up in the fantasy woman. And it doesn't help that the women of today, and this is not a condemnation of women of today, this is more just an observation that many women are presenting themselves as these sexual creatures. Where now we see women wearing clothing that shows off a little bit more of their bodies, even in everyday wear. I've been in places just out and about, and you'll see women having their hips, buttocks, breasts, and thighs all on display via tight jeans and low-cut shirts. And of course, they're wearing that to attract this certain attention. So we're assuming that, and even on Facebook, you have women in these provocative dresses and these provocative positions talking about how sexy they are. And of course, you see all of these things. So of course, our mind is, uh-oh, she's a sexy lady. Let's somehow deal with that. Don't get caught up in it, because there's a lot of glamour, there's a lot of hype, and there's a lot of misrepresentation in this world. Even when it comes to that so-called lady that tries to come off as this sexual seductress. Well, that's my 2 cents on Angelo's vid. Thank you very much. Take care.